Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. I hope that you are all good. In today's video we're doing a subtle matte ombre design using some Incandescent Shine acrylics, so I hope you all enjoy watching. Now I have already done my clear base on my Glamerliz practice hand. I do have a discount code for Glamerliz which I will leave linked in the description box below. Now I'm going to jump straight in and start working on my design because I've already got my clear base done, and I have left one ombre now, including the encapsulation, all in real time, as it was requested for a little bit more real-time segments or real-time videos. So this particular step here I'm doing in real time. So this is Lilac Mist from Incandescent Shine, and it's quite a dusky lilac shade. It has got that ashy grey undertone to it. It's a really pretty colour, but on camera the lilac doesn't pick up as lilac as what it is in real life, if that makes sense. So that's why the ombre looks even more subtle on camera than what it does in real life, but it looked quite pretty even though it doesn't pick up too much on camera. But all I've basically done is placed my bead of acrylic down, walked it down towards the free edge and blended out the back of that bead slightly. And as you can see, it covered quite well, but I did decide to come in with another bead right at the tip of the nail just to help make sure that the tip is fully opaque and you can really see that lilac-y colour. So I'm placing that down at the tip and then just feathering it back into the previous bead of acrylic, keeping my sidewalls nice and neat. So I'm making sure to wipe off any excess acrylic that's down at those sidewalls, because then this is going to save our filing further on in the video. So now I'm going to speed through and do exactly the same on all of the other nails except for the ring finger, because the ring finger is going to be slightly different. So I'm placing that bead of acrylic down, pulling it down towards the free edge. Doesn't matter if it doesn't meet all the way to the tip of the nail because I can come in with another bead. And then I'm just blending out the back of that bead of acrylic. Because these two colours that I'm going to be ombreing are quite similar, I didn't need to worry too much about blending out the back of the bead. But if you are working with a more brighter colour, really make sure that you blend out your acrylic so there's not a harsh line for your next bead of acrylic to blend over. Then once again, I've come in with that bead right at the tip of the nail and just blended that back into the previous bead of acrylic. And then once again, we're going to do exactly the same on the little finger. So anyway guys, I hope you're all doing okay. Did you all have a nice Valentine's Day? And if you did you get anything nice, or did you treat yourselves to anything nice? I really enjoyed doing all my Valentine's designs, all my Valentine's videos. So I hope you all enjoyed watching them. But we are now moving more into that sort of where it feels a little bit too soon for spring nails. So I kind of feel a little bit at a loss of what designs to do. So if you do have any nails or videos that you would like to see done, please do pop a comment below and I will give them a go. I have also got a poll up on my community tab as well asking for some ideas, so I'd love it if you all headed over and voted in that. Now that I've applied the Lilac Mist to all of the nails and allowed it to set, I'm going to come in with my next colour. So this is another colour from Incandescent Shine. This one's called Blushing Bride and it's a really pretty baby pink colour. It's kind of on the sheer side, so it blends absolutely beautiful for doing ombre nails. But like I said, these two colours are very similar, and because the lilac's not picking up very much on camera, they kind of blended together a little bit too well that you can't overly tell that it's an ombre. But I'm picking up a small bead of the Blushing Bride, placing it down where the lilac meets the natural nail and just blending out the back slightly, and then putting the top of that bead of acrylic down to blend into the Lilac Mist. And then I'm going to come in with my cuticle bead. So I've picked up a small bead of acrylic for the cuticle area. I'm placing that down and just tilting the finger downwards so I can tap that acrylic up into place at the cuticle area, getting it as neat and as close as I can. And then I'm going to leave the bulk of it there and then just pull the top of that bead of acrylic down over the previous bead of acrylic. I do, when I'm doing an ombre, like to build up most of the nail with the colours, and then I just put a thin clear encapsulation layer down to protect the fade. So I have pretty much built up a lot of my cuticle and apex as well as the tip using these two colours anyway. And then that's what that ombre looks like. So as I said, it's a very, very subtle, and even more so on camera. And then I'm doing pretty much exactly the same on the next two nails. So I'm placing that bead of blush and braid down, patting it out to the sides and then pulling it down to blend it over the Lilac Mist. And I work with my first bead of acrylic when I'm doing the second colour slightly wetter, just so it blends nicely. And then when I come in with my cuticle bead, that's more on the medium to dry side. Once again, tapping it up into that cuticle area, leaving the bulk of the product there because it is only a small bead of acrylic, and then I'm pulling it down over the previous bead of acrylic, making sure it's all nice and smooth and even, and I'm happy with the blend. Now on it to the ring finger, I'm going to do a full now of the blushing braid because I'm going to be coming in over the top of this one with some glitter. So I don't want a too thick layer, but because this colour is a little bit sheer, I'm building it up a little bit just so that there's that pigmentation there. So I've placed that first bead of acrylic down roughly 3/4 of the way down the nail because these nails are quite long. Taking it out to the tip, I'm keeping my sidewalls and the application as neat as possible again, just so that there's minimal filing to do. And then I'm just going to work my way up the nail, blending out each bead of acrylic over the previous bead. As you can see, I'm always wiping over the acrylic, especially at those sidewalls, because that's where you can end up with a lot of excess acrylic and then you end up with your bulky nails and having more filing to do. Cuticle bead, I'm applying exactly the same as I did on the previous two nails. Just making sure there's none on that cuticle or skin area. And just making sure that it's not too lumpy bumpy. Obviously, if you do have some lumps or bumps in your acrylic, you are going to be able to get them out with your file, but it's a lot easier if you apply your acrylic as smooth as you can, which does come with practice. Now on the little finger, I come straight in at the cuticle area, and I kind of wish I didn't because the ombre just didn't go as nicely as it could have done. It's just because it was a smaller nail that I was working on that I thought I kind of could work it. It ended up okay in the end, but I just personally always find it that little bit easier if I come in at the blend with a small bead there first of all and then come in with my cuticle bead. So to fix that up, I did just come in with another bead of acrylic and blend that out over the top. And now it's time to apply our glitter. So I'm just running over that now with my wet brush, and then I'm picking up a teeny tiny bead of clear acrylic and dipping into my glitter. Now this gorgeous glitter I'm using is from the Nail Team. Now it was a limited edition mix around a year or two ago, so I'm not actually sure if it's still available, but I will have a look and leave it linked in the description box below. It's such a pretty mix. It's got the multi-cut, there's a lot of multi-cut glitter pieces in there, and then you've got your chunky flowers as well. So I'm basically just coming in using my wet brush and picking up pieces out of the glitter mix that I want to use. So I'm sort of choosing what particular chunky flowers I want to add in, and I'm not really picking them up with any additional acrylic. I'm just using my wet brush to do that, and I just wanted them to go in a trail down the nail rather than fully covering the entire nail. Now that we're finished doing our acrylic design, I'm going to come in and encapsulate with my clear. So I'm picking up a medium-sized bead of clear acrylic, placing it down roughly at that apex area, tapping it up into the cuticle area slightly, and then I'm going to pull the sides of that bead of acrylic down the nail, and then just pull the top of that bead of acrylic down the nail. So I'm just gently patting and pressing this to pull it down the nail. I want to leave a lot of the product where I've placed it. Like I said, I've built up a lot of the structure with my colours, so I don't need to add a too thick encapsulation layer. I mainly just want a thin layer to protect that blend. Once again, keeping my sidewalls as neat as possible, trying to make sure everything's smooth and even and blended into each other nicely. And then I've left this one in real time, and I'm going to encapsulate the ring finger as well, but I have sped that one up. So that's what that now looks like, and then we're going to move on to the ring finger. So I'm just running my wet brush over the glitters just to make sure that the acrylic's going to settle around those chunky glitter pieces nicely if there's that little bit of wet monomer on there. Then I'm working slightly wetter when I'm encapsulating over these chunky glitters, again just so that that clear acrylic can get in and around all of the pieces of glitter that might be sticking up and where they are quite chunky. So I started roughly 3/4 of the way down the nail and just walked that down towards the free edge, and then I'm coming in up at the apex area with a slightly larger bead of acrylic, pulling those sides down and then pulling the top top of that bead of acrylic down the nail. Now I noticed in 1 or 2 places the glitter was sticking up slightly, so this bead of acrylic didn't fully encapsulate it. So once I've finished down at the cuticle area, I will come in and add any clear acrylic where it's needed, just to make sure all of those glitter pieces are fully covered with the clear acrylic. Now it is a little bit easier if you make sure all of your glitter pieces, especially the chunky ones, are lying nice and flat before encapsulating, but because of how chunky that flower to the left is, here you can see it just didn't get fully encapsulated, so I just come in with another small bead of acrylic to do that. Off camera, I then finished up the encapsulating, and I also did all of the filing off camera as well today. So this is what the nails looked like once I had finished filing and shaping them. I was quite happy with how this acrylic applied, so I didn't have too much filing to do. I then made sure to give them a good scrub to remove all of the dust. And then I'm going to come in on the middle finger and apply some crystals. So I'm just applying a thin layer of jewellery gel, just roughly where I want my crystals to be. And then I'm just using some crystals I picked up absolutely ages ago from AliExpress, but I quite liked them because they had a bit of a yellow and blue colour shift to them. So I kind of felt as though they just give off the set a little bit more of a pretty spring vibe, because the purple glitter mix that I use has some blue pieces in there as well. So it kind of just pulled the set together. And yeah, I thought it looked quite pretty. So I'm just using my wax end of the crystal picker upper to pick up and place my crystals, and then I'm using the needle end just to move them around until I'm happy with how they're placed. I didn't apply loads, just a little cluster in the corner, just because I thought the set was quite simple. So if I was doing a simple set like this on myself, this is when I would come in and just apply some crystals just to give it that little bit of something special. I'm then going to pop that in to cure for 60 seconds. So then that's the crystals now set in place. And I love a matte nail with crystals, so I decided I would do the 3 ombre nails with a matte top coat. So this is the Femme Fatale Satin Sheets matte top coat. I'm just going to apply a thin layer of this to those 3 ombre nails. And then the glitter nail, I decided I would do glossy, because in all honesty, I love a set of nails that has a combination of both matte and glossy. And I thought the glitter nail would look the best one glossy. So once I've finished applying the top coat to all of the nails, I then popped these in to cure for 60 seconds. And then that, guys, is the end of the video. So I do hope you all enjoyed watching. It was a pretty simple set, but I quite liked them, so I hope you like them all too. If you did enjoy the video, please do give it a thumbs up or let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I do hope you're all keeping safe and well and doing okay. And yeah, I shall hopefully see you all again soon in the next video. Once again, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I shall see you all again soon. Lots of love. Bye bye.